All right, welcome back to Anime Savants, y'all. Y'all getting a lot of fucking episodes. Like y'all getting a lot of stuff. Like wow, Merry Christmas. Okay,
Merry Crisis.
Yeah, Merry Crisis.
Yeah.
This week. Oh shit. Oh wait, this week I am fucking oh fuck, I don't know his last name. I'm Ito. From Genshin Impact.
Oh,
There
nice. I'm the Taguro brothers.
Woo. Okay. And let's just go ahead and hop in on the stuff this week. We only have two. Wait, no, we have three.
We have three, but then we won't.
Three.
Then
okay, let's do Assassin first.
Yeah.
Let's get this. They're trolling. He's trolling at this point.
Yeah, no shit.
He's literally just like having fun. And is it a he, the mangaka?
Yes.
It is a he.
Yep. We don't know what his face looks like. He's one of those dudes who does interviews with weird
like the horse hat or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. That's in your best interest, homeboy. Because wow. Not only so, first of all, I'm not mad. I'm actually very pleased with that finale. Like, I actually enjoyed myself. But let's just go ahead and we went from cousins to brother and sister. And they're not actually brother and sister, but everybody else gonna think they brother and sister.
Oh god.
So it's kind of just like I mean, he must be like in his like house or like whatever, like penthouse apartment or whatever, cackling at this like just cackling at like, these niggas actually let me print this. They actually let me print this shit. Like they okayed it. He has to be, because once again, because I had somebody actually call me out and basically be like, oh, what about, wait, I'm not gonna say anything. Never mind. Forget that. I'll come back to that point later because I don't want to do anything for it yet. But anyways.
Okay.
Well, not later in it. We'll come back to this point later in further episodes because I don't want to like spoil anything for you. So like, not for this show, but for something else. But basically, y'all, it's not okay in any universe, but also the fact that like, it's not like I'm gonna stop watching the series because I'm like, oh, I don't morally agree with that. Like, you shouldn't do that in real life because like genetics of the child and the children will be ravaged. So
they ain't thinking
like I'm thinking about the kids, bro. I'm not thinking about y'all. I was like, a lot of y'all be fucking your cousins, but you never like procreate. That's y'all's business.
They're not
like,
even thinking about generations.
The procreation part is my problem. It's like I think it's just really unfortunate that, well, also these are fictional characters. So anyways, but that's for you niggas that are like defending it. Like, do you know what you sound like defending incest? Like, anyways, overall, the episode and where we ended, I'm hyped. I want the second season.
Yeah,
I want the second season. I like the fake out that they did with Satanta. Is that his name?
Yeah, Satanta McGinnis or whatever.
Which Satanta is actually like a demon in like Shin Megami Tensei 5 that always shows up. He's like part of the fairy clan, but he also has a spear. But I don't think the spear's name is Gungnir or Gaybolg. This one was Gaybolg, right? Oh shit! It might be Gaybolg.
It was.
Okay.
I mean, I know that name is like Irish.
Yeah. I think Satanta is an Irish like legend also. So I see what they were doing with that, but also I thought that the death of Satanta was going to be more disrespectful.
It was kind of disrespectful.
It was disrespectful, but what I was expecting, I thought that like he was going to struggle against Satanta, and then the hero was going to come up and just like one shot Satanta and be like, yo, what's up? I'm the hero.
I mean, that's a good idea.
I thought it would, and then I felt like that would have fucked with Lug to basically be like, I'm over here struggling with this nigga and he just one shot him. This is who I gotta kill. What? I thought that would have been, not to say that I didn't enjoy what happened. I did enjoy what happened, but that's what I was expecting, because I also thought that the thing that he sent, I thought he sent it like around the world. or some shit.
But it was from he was right there. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. It didn't look like he sent it like up, but then also they did the whole like, oh, we did off-screen training, which I appreciate for them because like, I wouldn't have cared about that island like thing, but also premiering the weapon in this way is cool. But these still, I don't know if that's gonna be enough for the hero.
I'm gonna nitpick, but I want to just say that I did in fact I've enjoyed the series one from end to end. Like there's things in it that I would have done differently. There's a couple episodes I think pacing was weird, or that we didn't need to focus on stuff we focused on. So the nitpick is that how is this episode structured? It was structured around the plan to fake Dia's death that then gets right within like the first 5 minutes just completely undone because Satanta shows up, throws the spear. Spear is like a combination, physical weapon that's also like shooting lasers and shit and just fucking everybody up. It's just some ultra powerful bullshit.
They clearly didn't make that shit like the ancients or whoever the hell.
And I would say that we had like in at least 2 prior episodes some foreshadowing that there was going to be this super weapon, so that didn't come out of nowhere. I think that at the end of the day, the weapon itself was a little less interesting than it could have been. Like that, we didn't get any kind of explanation of what it does or what its rules were. In fact, we got way more.
See that like Homeboy's arm was like black though, because so
we got more of the monologue around what Lou thought Satanta's skills were, which played into his strategy for beating him. So that's an aspect of a power system that I enjoy, is that you kind of learn what the rules are. You learn how everything works, and then you kind of stick with your characters as they come up with some countermeasure way around it. In fact, I think a good power system can be so entertaining that it can make a bad show much more exciting to watch, or a show that like isn't visually appealing or aesthetically appealing. Like that side of world building and development is very underrated. And I think that we've talked about this in the first few episodes, but the power system in Assassin actually has a lot of flexibility and a lot of ways that you could do interesting things, which we saw in this episode. So anyway, we get the Satanta reveal, we get the weapon, he uses, you see how powerful it is, we see how powerful he is. Lou basically dumps the plan to try to fake Dia's death. He's like, all right, I'm just going to do a duel, and I'll try to use his trump card basically that he was saving for the hero in order to take out this guy, whoever he is. And it culminates in the railgun, or not railgun, but the tungsten rod, the hand of God weapon that he kind of puts together. And that part I liked a lot, because in fact all the components of it were things that we have been foreshadowed and taught about, that were part of the rules of the world. And in particular, it makes some of the scenes that were a little more like, they were very emotional, like the thing with Tart running in the wind and everything else like that. That was a good scene by itself, but the fact that it played into teaching us something about the rules, so that then later on it could be used as the a part of the final attack, is actually pretty cool. And I bring that up because there's another show that I watched where we'll talk about it in a bit, where it was Talk No Jutsu was ultimately part of the finale, which I did not appreciate. So or it's not really a finale, but anyway, we'll get to it. So in this case, we get all that, and then Lou basically doesn't trick him, but basically stalls to give him time for his one-shot kill to go off. It works out, and then we get the end where Dia is now his sister, but also they've confessed to each other and they've gotten physical. So I mean, Lou is fucking his sister cousin.
Yeah.
And then so there's that. The only thing in this episode was we did get another goddess cutaway, and we got the reveal of the hero.
Menacing.
Yeah, or more robotic. Like this is part of a very, like these goddesses are just existences that are.
Oh well, no, they had that scene where it like panned to her and she made that like crooked smile.
Yes, that's correct.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like it's the juxtaposition between like that personality and like the robotic stuff, where I'm just like, what the fuck are you? Like, what is going on? So
and then we ended the episode with the reveal of the actual hero and his trainer, who we already met in a previous aside. So funny how
we did? We met his trainer?
Yes, we did. That was in I want to say episode 8 or 9. It was in one of the goddess asides where she picks the world's greatest teacher, and instead of setting her to go after the hero to kill him, she sets him to train the hero.
That woman?
She had blonde hair and seemed like the same person. So.
Oh wow. Okay. I completely missed out on that.
So so the neat thing about that is, if the hero has a party, those become the secondary antagonists before, we get to the finale of the show.
Yeah.
And then they said that the Demon King has sort of appeared now, so we're moving into the meat of whatever the story is. I think that's one of the problems I've had with the show, is that it hasn't had a consistent antagonist.
Yeah.
Or like someone that is of equal strength to really provide a threat. Now we've seen what it looks like when you get a character that is overpowered in ways that are similar to our main character. Remember, his whole thing is he chose to be a growth type. He chose a whole bunch of skills that are all like, they're designed to A, let him grow quickly, and B, ass pull new abilities out of nowhere, but with some explanation as to how it works. So I think this is all to the good. So what did you feel about the way they presented that fight? Well, it wasn't really a fight, but like the confrontation and execution of Satanta, because I really enjoyed that part of the episode a lot.
I did. That was my favorite part of the episode. I enjoyed the fact that Luke was like, I would be an idiot to go out there and like one-on-one this nigga. That's stupid. I'm an assassin. I'm gonna kill him like an assassin. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like, thank you. I also like that it highlighted that like Luke's not all powerful. Like, he's not, like, he may be OP in some aspects, but like when he's put up against like actual like OP shit, it's like you're gonna have to think about a way to get out of this shit. Or because he's Luke, he's already practiced like multiple ways of like, taking niggas out that are well beyond this world's like mechanical, but like
the rules that everyone is familiar with. He's
and
doing shit they don't understand, like guns and fucking orbital tungsten rods getting.
So it makes me wonder if the creator of those ancient weapons are actually someone from a more advanced civilization that came through and made them hoes, and then they were just in the world now. Right. Like, so this, I don't feel like there's ever gonna be. Actually, no, that's false. I would say though that my most excited moment was the very end, seeing the hero, because I can't wait to see that character. That's the kind of character that has like the most insane, like depraved faces. Like I can't wait until the corruption starts and we see the hero, like those like little like innocent. It's a guy? Was it a guy?
It looked like a guy.
It looked like a guy.
We think so. I mean,
it was like a trap guy. So it's like the faces are going to be immaculate. Like he's gonna look so fucking sinister. And I think that's another thing that they're like banking on, is the fact that like they're presented, it's a trap. He's so like cute and blah 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 blah. And then when he goes like or when he starts to go into evil mode and like Luke starts to witness it or we witness it, that's when it's like, oh shit, like this is kind of like some sick shit. Or that's how I would like it to go. But I'm pretty sure everyone else who's like read the source material, y'all are well on your way.
I mean, that's one of the interesting things about the opportunities that are presented by the story that we have right now. I mean, you could definitely go in a more, I'm going to call it a redo of Healer direction, right? Like we saw a version where you have character archetypes that would normally be positioned as, good guys. It's for the lack of a better word. They're meant to be good guys, but the subversion is that they're all creepy, evil, degenerate sadists. And so it's the public faces, what you expect, and the private faces, they're evil. And so the story works by showing you how bad they really are, how depraved they are, and therefore justifying anything over the top and extreme that happens to them. That's one way to go, and that is what the author has already written. He's written a story that's like that. It's also possible that they go the other way, in the sense that maybe it's not so much that the hero gets corrupted, but they're still stand for something. At the end of all of it. And it's really more philosophically, they have a fate, and that fate, if they're left unchecked, will destroy everything. And then it really is like cutting out a cancer rather than like Lou he's not like an Avenger type main character. He's very pragmatic, and this is a job to him. That's what he was essentially hired to do. So the real question is that at the end, does he look at what the hero means to this world, the idea of the fate that's going to happen, whatever bad or good things they've done, and weigh that against whatever changes in his character? Maybe he figures out that the goddess system or whatever is running it is actually the real problem, or maybe there's another solution, right? Because
I think that might be not a valid, but the valid storyline, because I don't know, just the way that he's like aiming the gun at the goddess in the opening, I feel like that's a hint for something.
It could go anyway, and I wouldn't think that it's necessarily a bad thing if it sort of took the route that you suggested, because those, at the end of the day, why are we watching the show? We're watching the show to see stuff like we saw in episode 12, and the hero would be that confrontation theoretically would be the ultimate expression of that. So I'd be happy to get there, with him being a bad guy. I still think that that's ultimately probably where it's going, and that he'll start hunting down his supporters and other strong people.
So that's another thing that I'm actually really excited about, is that, and I think I said it earlier with Satanta, so I feel like I'm going in circles now, but the fact that there are other people that he's going to have to fucking contend with, and that he's not all powerful. And so it'll probably do the whole, not like maybe like the shonen-esque thing where it's like these are the hero's inner circle. These are the people you're gonna eventually have to kill to get to the hero, while also doing other assassin shit and getting caught up in other things. So I think there's a potential to do something different with that like traditional storyline, while also like having Luke go through different character arcs where he's like, I actually like a lot of these people that I've ended up killing, but at the end of the day, I still have to focus on killing the fucking hero, and they're in the way. So
yeah, and I think we're sort of in a retrospective now since it's the end of the season, but I think that you can credibly say that that character has gone through a lot of changes over the 12 episodes, as well as being able to leverage knowledge even from episode 1. I mean, in this episode, in episode 12, we got a flashback to when he realized that he had been screwed, by his employers, and that feeling, that danger sense, which really wasn't all that evident before, because everything he was dealing with before, he was super overpowered. There wasn't a sense of fear or danger, and he kind of also missed when what was going on in that town when he was out there with Dia the first time. So this is not an all-powerful, all-knowing kind of person. Like he can be surprised, he can be caught off guard, he can be overpowered by others who exist in that world. So that's one thing I was worried about, is like, how much of a power fantasy was this going to be? Was this going to be one where I would put Ari Ferretta sort of kind of in this vein, even though that story does an okay job of scaling itself, especially in the beginning.
I actually need to rewatch Ari Ferretta before it comes out, because I feel like I've forgotten like the overworld thing, like the prophecy that he's part of.
Everything, like I said, everything up to when the rabbit girl shows up in Ari Ferretta does actually do a very linear sort of growth where the main character is not overpowered. He is actually severely at a disadvantage for a long time. But once he gets out of that first dungeon, he starts inventing things that make his life easier. But some of those things are really cool. So that sort of then becomes the hook. You want to see him flex on dudes with like, guns and like, motorcycles and all kinds of stuff like that no one else has ever seen.
Military Jeep with the fucking turret.
Things that no one else in that world has seen. Like, it becomes kind of fun. It's like Gate, if Gate wasn't a piece of trash like show.
Oh man, I could only get I finished the first season of Gate, and then I got like 3 episodes into the second season, and I was like, I'm still not feeling this shit.
I'm not there. We could go on about Gate, but it's the same general concept that's through all 3 of them. It's like you take a person with like modern understandings of warfare and modern weaponry in our world and everything else, and then you shove them into a medieval magical society, but they can create all that shit. What havoc can they wreak, and what ways can they flex on people with stuff that would be familiar to us, but maybe wouldn't necessarily be familiar to other folks? So I think it's a very good formula. And even though by definition this show is trash, it's designed for trashy people with trashy minds. I'm a trashy person with a trashy mind. Like it's what it's there for. The fact that we can get scenes like we've gotten throughout this season makes it an easy watch and an easy excuse to watch more, even if there are aspects of it that like I'm just gonna groan and roll my eyes at, like stuff
because that's
about.
well, it's not the intention, but it's just like, the target audience.
That's not for me. Yeah, exactly. Like I have less of a problem with it here than I do in other shows that are very boring and don't have a lot else to offer.
Because this is doing something else at the same time, as opposed to basically just being like, this is the crux.
Exactly. Like I'm not gonna tune into a show for incest. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Like that is not a kink of mine. I'm not into that kind of storytelling. It's mostly a turnoff.
Now, pseudo incest.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. The implication of it. I know why. If we want to have like a whole serious conversation about like why people enjoy this kind of media, then I can get with an explanation for it that doesn't make me want to puke. Like I do understand people are fans of this, but one of the reasons why I'm okay moving on from it and not holding it against the show in Assassin's case, but then something like Mahoka, I'm just like, it just grinds my gears, is because this Assassin is not explicitly designed to cater to just that audience, and the rest of the show is kind of just like ornaments on top of like the incest tree. Like that's not what it is. It's got that as a part of it, which okay, fine, but it's got a whole lot of other stuff in there too that's more front and center. And I actually do give a shit about the story. The story is interesting. The world is actually pretty interesting, and it's
like the power system.
Yep. And it's expressed in an interesting way, unlike some other shows. Some other shows, the world is interesting, but it's just not. It's explained to me and shown to me in the most boring.
It's just walking around with wet panties.
Right. So yeah, I enjoyed this season. I like this sort of final episode, and I think we got a lot to think about for our next season. I don't know if it's been announced. I know that
I don't know how much material is out there. Do they have enough for a second season?
I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe we didn't cover all that much. I mean, they did skip some stuff. They did. I mean, well, I would bet that they skipped some stuff. I mean, the whole thing on the island seems like that was probably a chapter or whatever, and they just cut it. Which, in retrospect, I don't mind that they cut that, because it would have just been like it would have felt like an omake, and then like he'd be doing like magic shit in the background,
like suppressing her like love.
Exactly. It's nighttime and we're all out of energy, and like maybe I get close to him and then it doesn't work out for comedic reasons, and then they get on the boat. Like that's been done 10,000 times before, so we didn't need it without it. I would have liked at least though in that first episode when they start out on the boat leaving. It would have been interesting if the first shot had been the island in ruins. Like, and they're leaving. What? Because you can like get that. Again, nitpick, tiny little things.
Yeah.
A little scene here or there to just like stitch that shit together.
But everything doesn't unravel because of those little nitpicks. Like, yeah.
By no means. I really enjoyed the show this season.
All right. We're saving that bitch for last. So let's do Paladin.
Yeah. So the first thing to mention, I think for me in this episode was this was like we like Will was on the up, so now we need to bring that motherfucker down.
Plummeted.
Right. Because he's been one-shotting pretty much everything.
Dragons. Wyvern Slayer.
Yeah, he's been on a high. He needs to come down, especially if and I don't know where the season's finale is going to be. I don't know what they want to do, but he has to overcome some more shit. We got the training stuff. We got all his family things. He walked out in the world, a little puppy. Oh, everything's so cute and pretty. Oh, yeah. And at every level he's learning. Oh no, shit ain't sweet. Oh, you got all these goddess powers. Can't be using them willy-nilly just to solve everybody's problem. Oh, you're super strong. Well, you can get everybody killed, run out in the woods, talk whatever. Oh, you think your friends are your homies just like your family that you left behind? Oh no, them fragile niggas, they could catch it too. So
that's basically the episode where they were just like, these niggas are not on your level. And also, I don't know if I would call Will cocky. I don't think he was cocky. I think it was just like momentarily careless.
Careless is the right word.
Yeah.
That's the right word.
I think he was just a bit careless. I was afraid though that they were gonna kill that nigga.
I was
This
interested.
episode,
I actually thought they might go through with it. I was impressed.
When the fire hit him, I was like, oh, are they getting him out of here?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think y'all were gonna do this.
I didn't bite all the way, but I bit a little bit.
They had
I bit a little bit. I was like, oh, they might actually do it. Like I had
when Raynov was like,
show.
You gotta go heal him. I was like, oh shit, okay, he's alive. Oh my! I thought he was like the moment that fire hit him, because at first I was thinking, I was like, oh, Raynov is gonna like stab one of the heads, and then
there would be like a quick cutaway, because they actually kind of the way they put that scene together, it did kind of look like someone could have come in. But instead it was just hit. But instead, like he pulled the sword and started killing everybody.
They just let that nigga fail, like back to back to back, and I'm not mad at it at all. I'm actually like, I think this has a greater effect, because as opposed to like seeing him fail like incrementally, like this just coming out of nowhere and basically being like literally like ripping the rug from somebody from under somebody's feet. It's like damn. Right. And then of course, he has the whole like inner monologue just fucking himself up, and
he's just dogpiling himself. And some of what he said, so I had like questions in the first half of the episode where I'm like, okay, his reaction to this is not good. It's like, very what I don't even know what you would call this in writing, but like when the main character has a moment where it's not a break, but it's like they have come to a realization, but the realization is like half wrong. And so they start going in a direction in their way of thinking that's sort of like you're running down. You've observed the right thing, but you're running down the wrong path. That's kind of what I got out of this. Is that like he was right when he said, "Oh shit, I've been careless. I'm super strong and I'm abnormal. Here are my reasons for why I was avoiding thinking about this." All that was legit. And then his reaction to it was, "Oh, I need to do everything on my own," which we've seen that fall, how that is a problem, which means that the answer is the power of friendship, but maybe not in an annoying way.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be most likely mental, going up to him and basically just saying like, okay, bro, like, yeah, we weak, but we're not useless. And also like we care about you like as a person. So like, it's whatever. I don't know. I think you're right. The friends are going to be the saving grace. I was surprised that Tonio and BB though didn't like immediate cop some shit and basically be like, nah, let's talk, nigga, let's talk. But also they haven't known him as long as Minnow. And also I think that his previous, I think this is an important plot point, at least to me. What I've noticed is that like his previous life experiences where he's been like a social recluse or whatever are like adding on to this like particular problem. And we haven't really seen that like come into play that much, especially since he's left the temple. Like so far he's just been like, a blessing like all over, just like I'm gonna bless people, I'm doing this, bless you, like oh I got this like this crew of healers, everybody getting heals, like okay. I thought that the main bad guy, first of all, I gotta say, I still really enjoyed the show's just like zero fucks about shit when they literally were like looking for the homeboys and they were just like paying bodies on the ground dead. I was like, oh, okay. Oh
yeah, they could get brutal when they need to. There was an aspect of that I still. This has been like the season of like really good shows that just don't have antagonists. Like
oh yeah,
like so the Chimera showing up with all these demons in an ambush is cool. I'm left with more questions about that than answers. And I'm not sure. Who's the
primary organizer? Right. Are they part of what's that God's name?
Stagnate.
Yeah, Stagnate shit. Yeah.
And I'm not even sure that they're even implying that is what's happening. Like there's a lot of the non-human side of the story that is very underdeveloped, but that's probably purposeful. Like this right now we're just getting to know everybody, so like it doesn't need to be any kind of like grand thing. But like for example, now we know demons are pretty intelligent. I mean that's a good thing to know. Will that play into what Will is doing. I mean, if he's gonna go, let's say he goes after the
And also, why he keep
Chimera
resorting
alone.
to that damn thunder spell? Like, nigga, like,
That's all he
relax.
knows. This dude,
Relax.
he don't know. He don't know nothing. He didn't read any of the advanced books. He just did the simple shit. Remember, Gus was like, just do the basics. That's his only high level spell he knows. Look, he's looking like into the game. You look in your spell book. You only got that one. You better hope it works.
And you need enough MP to cast that shit over and over.
Exactly. So like there were a lot of aspects of this episode that felt a lot like, again, a tabletop game sort of scenario, because they time skipped us a little bit. They got to summer. I don't know where they were.
Because it's been a while. Yeah, it's been like a few months or so.
Yeah, I'm gonna presume it's like 2 to 3 months have gone by. They've kind of gone out. They secured a couple of villages. They're feeling good about themselves. This, the setup for what happened, I'm all for. Patrol goes missing. They go out and look for him. They get ambushed. He whips out the demon sword. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. The only thing that I was a little bit like, annoyed might be too strong a word, but like I was questioning, is that, so Will is a very logical guy.
Yeah.
We know this. He has a strong inner monologue. He is strategic. He will plan, because he said that. He said, no, our tactics weren't wrong. It was just I overestimated how our relative strength to the rest of the world. So he's had that demon sword the whole time. Has he not thought about how to use it correctly? If he's gonna carry it on him, and
this is the first time we've seen him use it outside of the
right. He pulled it out and just started swinging it around. He even says in the monologue while he's fighting that like he just, all the tactics, all of the other things that he come up with, just threw them away and just like went ham with this thing. And then after the fact, he clearly felt bad about it. And in my head, I'm like, okay, he's a softie, so he can have that reaction. But if he's as smart as I believe the character's been presented to be, it's a little weird that he didn't think ahead of time or train ahead of time or like plan ahead of time about how and when to use this cheat code.
Maybe he was only planning to use it like against like godly things if he ever ran into problems with gods
and he did pull it out because his friend got hurt. So like that's it was an emotional moment. I'm not saying that doesn't make sense. I'm saying that like I would have preferred to see him having thought about that ahead of time rather than trying to use it like, using this weapon, which by the way, the first time he used it was to
get out of jail.
Yeah, it was to protect his family. I would have liked to have seen him like, here are the rules for when I use this, and then not beat himself up for using it, because he wasn't sad he used it to protect his to kill Stagnate the first time, or that echo of him. He wasn't sad about that. It was just, and he knew what the downside risks were. So, but now he's moping around the village like, oh no, I had to do this horrible thing. They saw me use my ultra super secret. Like, come on, bro. Nah, I don't buy that. That I wouldn't react that way. Let me put it that way. That wouldn't be me. I'd be out there like, yeah, I'm gonna show you the way, nigga. Come here, get your ass down here. Get your ass up. We about to Uganda knuckles your ass into the next dimension. Right? He's out.
Wow. So. And I mean, the Chimera ran away from him. So I don't know if that sword is known like outside. It
can't be, right? It can't, because all that is like lost history in that.
It is, but we don't know the average like length of the demons though. That Chimera seems like it's like a top level kind of like thing. That shit could. I'm assuming they don't have similar lifespans to humans.
True. It reacted. It got the fuck out of there. I would have been like, I would see Metal Dog be like, surprise, nigga. Like,
I did enjoy Raynov talking shit though. He basically was like, if it gets close enough, I can kill it.
Yeah, and he seemed like he handled himself. He had the line of the episode when he said, they think they're the ones who trapped us here. I'm like, bro, I feel you 100%.
Yeah,
I see exactly where you're coming
which
from.
That made me, they lulled me into a sense of like false security where I was like, oh, they about to watch these niggas. And it was like,
Nope. They did not. Nope. But it's weird because like they made the formation, and then they just forgot that there was a giant monster that had wiped out the other group. Like, where they didn't see it.
And also like Will just like casting magic in the middle of the battlefield, not looking around. So like I thought that snake was gonna like bite that nigga's arm off or something. I was like, so funny. You really just you fucking up.
I did laugh, but like he had that shit coming for getting that cocky. Anyway, so I think you know, we'll see where this goes as far as his
And there's one
development.
more
He'll
episode
come
coming.
back. The season's gonna end on a positive note. Like he's not gonna be moping around till next season, which has been announced. So we got a season 2
Oh, it
coming.
has been?
It
Oh,
was
good.
announced
Because there's a
today.
lot of material. I saw
how many, do you know how many light novels there are?
I think there's I don't know about light novels. I think I saw like a volume 14 or something, or like 11 or something. Because I was looking for pictures for the YouTube video for like backgrounds, and I like saw some stuff, and I was like, oh shit, it looked like we got a lot of shit to cover. So
okay, I'm gonna check those covers. I need to know if this turns into a harem. That's all I need to know.
I didn't see any women, I don't think I saw any women on those covers.
Hey, I mean, listen, it could be a different kind of harem. I'm just saying,
if we get like a bro adventure kind of like shit where he's literally just goes around the world collecting bros.
Metal with those puffy ass undergarments. I mean, dying.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm basically okay, like, you know, do what you gotta do. But also I would be surprised if he had, well, no, I'm okay. Anyways, enough theory crafting. Let's go into the main event. So
okay.
So
86.
James has a lot to say. I'm just gonna say that I was surprised. I wasn't writing the show off, but I was kind of waiting. So we finally got what we needed to get, and it was entertaining. I still don't understand what them niggas was going through. I don't. And there was someone who like got my comments, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you definitely didn't understand this episode, but then you didn't explain it yourself." So nigga, what? Explain it. Come on. I asked people, I was like, if I'm missing something, like, let me know. Or maybe like, you know, it's a product of something else. You didn't explain it. So we went into this episode, and this is what I know. This is what I expect out of 86. But I expected this, the frequency of sequences like this to be more common, as opposed to the Shin wants to die again sequences. So, yeah, I'll just piggyback off what you got to say, because I'm pretty sure you have a list. Okay.
This fucking show puts me through things that I don't like because I like the show. Okay, yeah. I like this show, and it puts me through things that as a writer and a fan, I want to like reach out and just like shake the director, shake the producers, shake the episode segment writers. I want to shake them, because there are. Let me dial this back. So let's talk about something that failed, and then we'll use that to compare it to 86. So another series that came out this year finally was one that was reviled by everybody, which is High Guardian Spice. Okay. This was a Crunchyroll original.
Yeah,
I won't go into too many details about what's going wrong, but one of the big criticisms, if you ever see any of it, episode here or there, even a summation of what goes on, is that with a show like this, and I think Tesla Note is in a similar place, and X Arms from a couple seasons back, there's a line between like amateurism and then when you something done professionally, but it's done wrong or done in a way that kind of undermines itself. 86 sometimes feels like there's amateur stuff in there, but I think that's probably more from the source material, like ideas that are not developed, but they sound like a good idea. And then there are things that are good ideas, and they're not executed. They're either executed wrong, or they're not executed to their fullest, most effective deployment in a story.
Okay.
So what happened in this episode? In this episode, we are 2 days after the beginning of the mission. We've gotten through all the internal talk and everything else. So it's basically the whole episode is based around them going from wherever they started to fight Kiri. That's it. So there's really no other cutaways. We don't see anything else about the war that's happening. Nothing from
Republic.
No, it is now. We're strictly on, you know, the 86 squad, whatever. So how does this episode put together? It's a very typical we're gonna go fight the last boss episode, where every 3 minutes or 4 minutes, a member of the main cast is cut off, stops, whatever. So I'm gonna hold them back, and then that gets them out of the story to set up a confrontation between the characters that are emotionally connected to each other. So in this case, it's Shanae and Kiri, it's Frederica and Kiri, and then to a much lesser degree, Raiden and Shanae. Okay, that's the meat of the episode, and we end with like the kill shot that you would expect, right? So if I laid out to you like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, everyone's gonna get their hero moment, right? The members of the team, they're gonna go off, they're gonna do things, and whether they're alive or they're dead or however it works out, this is supposed to elevate these side characters and then get them out of the way so that you can just do all the pathos stuff with the primary, protagonist and antagonist. To me, that's where things went off the rails immediately. So Anju gets separated. She gets hurt because it literally says on the screen she had a concussion. And then she lies to everyone.
And says, it said on the screen she had a concussion?
It's on the little like pop-up display.
I completely went by monitor. That. I literally was just like, girl, you holding your shoulder and your head. Like,
it said head trauma, possible concussion, and something else, some other damage. And then she lies, says she's fine. I'll take care of it. You guys go. She says something that is not audible, which is sort of like a death flag. They put 38 death flags on her. And then they were like, they let her go off, and we don't even get a scene of her doing anything cool. We just get a faraway shot of an explosion, and then that's it. So it's like, that is a wasted opportunity. Do you understand what I'm saying? That we already started out with a wasted opportunity for a member of the principal cast who is not done with her character arc as far as we had gotten in the series, right? Because normally when you kill them off, you do the thing beforehand where it's like, I finally realized all the things that were whatever. Nah, bitch, she just stretched out Frederica, and then that was the last we saw of her. Okay, fine, whatever. Other dude whose name I'm now forgetting, right? The whatever, blonde.
Don't know, it's blonde.
Forgot his name, which
don't care.
No problem. It's own problem, but we're not gonna get to that. They just walk into a city, and then he's like, "Oh, there's guys coming behind us. I'm no good outside of a city, so I'm just gonna like theatrically shoot a pillar to block the road." And then he literally says, "Like, don't worry,
in
guys,
a city.
I'll hold it back." Yeah,
with other roads that can go around the fucking.
We don't even see him do anything. He just disappears. So now I'm like, okay, another member of the principal cast we've written out of the episode didn't get the hero moment, didn't get any cool thing. Just fuck it, we don't care. They're gone. Oh, fine. I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm being fair, like, it's really Raiden and Shanae who have like the strongest personal relationship. So whatever.
Yeah.
Then we get third girl. She just like, they get to the woods. They get shot at by the
Pale Rider.
The Pale Rider. They get shot. She starts shooting randomly in the air, and then is like, I'm better off shooting from a distance where I can see. Okay, fine. Tactically, that is sound. It sounds like she's going to
cover fire.
Right, she's going to support the attack, and we in the last episode know that she's got unfinished shit with Shin. So like, that's a very girlfriendy thing to do. I'll take care of you, baby. Like, whatever. But then before she fires 3 shots, we don't know what happens, and then like a blue beam comes in, and then
Pale Rider literally shot her with the nuke.
Right. Now they went out of their way right before this to show her dodge some incoming artillery fire. So like, as the artillery specialist, it would make sense that she's shooting and moving, tactical stuff. We saw so much attention to detail on the tactics earlier in this season. Where'd that shit go? That seemed to disappear, because now it's all about just running directly at Pale Rider's caterpillar
and
mech.
Then that doesn't even make any fucking sense, because once Pale Rider's done for, you're surrounded and swarmed by the rest of the Legion that you fucking ignore. Right?
Then Raiden, who is carrying Frederica, just gets hit, and
for the first time ever, a shell goes through the fucking armor.
Yeah, so they try to like swerve you into being like, is everybody dead? They look like they got hit by a shell, and it's like, no, he's just bleeding, and he blocked her. Some glass got in his arm, but his legs are gone. So he's done absolutely nothing. I want to point this out again. Raiden, from the beginning of this operation until now, on screen, has done nothing. He's supposed to be the
Except
second
yell
in
at
command.
Shin.
He's supposed to be the hard ass. He's supposed to be the one that if you're gonna kill somebody, if you wanna give someone the bad to make this season feel fucking like hard, you wanna kill a nigga, that's the man to kill. You do that fucking guts 100-man battle with that dude trying to cover Shin's back or do something like that if you want to kill him. But we didn't get that. We got no hero moment. Again, he is just out. Frederica gets into Fido. Fido locks her up. Shin says, stay away. Apparently the robot doesn't fucking listen because 7 or 8 minutes later, that bitch is out there in the middle of the battlefield with a gun.
Right
Where
next,
did she get the gun? Right. Just crawls out. So apparently Fido did not listen to stay back, brought Frederica to the fight, and then let her out, which are all 3 things Shin said not to do. And we had no indication up to this point that Fido wouldn't listen to Shin. Shin was the only person that he listened to. But
so,
okay.
I will say the way that she got out though was that they got hit by that blast. Fair. From Raiden, because they were in the area.
Yeah, right. But that it doesn't say why they were in the area.
Yeah.
He said, go away. Yeah. Them niggas would just follow you in the back. Okay. I don't even want to get to that yet. But, now we're at the point where, at least as far as we know, it's going to be 1v1 Shin versus this giant caterpillar thing. This was, so everything I said up to now, that's a narrative problem. You didn't give people their hero moments. But you did it to accelerate this confrontation. Okay, I'll let that one go. Now we get into the directorial producer problems. You want to have a final confrontation with the big boss, okay? You have taught us for 2 seasons. Where do these mechs work the best? Urban environments. What are the coolest like battle scenarios that you've gotten so far? It's when the spider mechs are zipping and dodging and pulling up and going vertical and
have cover fire.
Exactly. Yeah. Taking advantage of all the rules of the world, all the cool mecha designs, all the technologies. And Shin is a close range fighter to begin with. And what's his signature? It's those 2 blades on the front of his thing, right? But for some reason, the crux of this fight is going to come down to him doing some kind of point blank cannon shot that, yes, we've seen him do before, but since when was that his signature move? That was just some shit that he did one time. Meanwhile, you've constructed a battle scenario that is completely uninteresting. It's a flat, open field in the middle of nowhere. There's no cover. There's nowhere to dodge. So now we're going to start to have problems because how could this giant, heavily armed mecha with like gun points all over the place, the ability to shoot rail gun shots at effectively close range and super long range.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to believe that like Shin literally just runs at this motherfucker in a straight line, doesn't get hit. His big plan was to like overheat some of the little side guns and then maybe
that was
on the phone and be like, where do I shoot this thing to kill it? So now Shin, even though he looked cool, calm and collected, he had his shit together this fight. He looks like a fucking moron. They chose a fight in the worst possible place with no fucking plan. And visually, it doesn't give me any of the things that I really like about this series. It gives me nothing.
No.
Nothing.
I mean, the latter half did please me, but...
And we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yes. So the beginning of this fight, I'm asking myself, what the fuck is going on? Why did they make these choices to now have a visually uninteresting, nothing going on kind of battle? Then I found out, because all of a sudden, when Shin is in trouble and he's, oh, really, he's a close range fighter. You shouldn't be doing that, which would have been information that would be real useful to have when they were like planning this operation. And so I don't know why we're figuring this shit out now, but Frederica. Okay. Shin's in peril. So what should happen? But, gunfire from out of nowhere. What's going on? Well, we get the implication, because we see missiles. So like maybe Anju's not dead. And then we get the implication because we get like aerial bombardment. So the other girl's not dead. I don't know about the other little nigga. I guess he died in the city.
I don't give a fuck about him. Yeah, no.
Maybe it was, I thought he was like a sniper or something like that. So like,
yeah,
he wasn't involved. Maybe he is dead. Okay. But to top it all off, Raiden's not dead. This nigga crawling on 2 legs, fucking coming out of, again, straight line. No fucking plan. Okay. Gets flat blasted again.
Running to his death.
I think we figured out at this point that like in this season or this stage of the story, you could watch a nigga get hit by a goddamn orbital strike And as long as you don't see a body come flying out of the machine, then
they will be fine. Yeah.
So I
thought that Raiden and redhead girl were done for.
No, I listen, at this point, I think they're indestructible. I'm gonna go right back to the thing I said at the middle of this season. Like, they have moved on from the whole, like, you know, killing people in the party for shock
So
value.
the plot armor is like hardcore.
Yeah, it is. For all them other niggas died and gave their power to the remaining team. Because they are not dying for anything. Like, no way they're gonna kill him. Like, I don't believe that shit. If they do kill Raiden, I will at least give them the benefit that he got a hero moment in this episode. Because that nigga literally did nothing the whole operation on screen. Okay.
I thought we were gonna see like Anju suicide herself with a gun or some shit.
Or whatever, right? We didn't get any of that shit. All right, so now we're in the home stretch. So the friends have sort of kind of come back. Frederica is on the battlefield for no good goddamn reason, even though it's the last place she should be. And frankly, her being there didn't.
I told you she was gonna do this shit. But
whatever. So now we get into the part that bothered me. Like, all that other stuff, those are just like errors of judgment and direction that, like, it's a choice. They made that choice. I disagree with it, but like, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
This shit that comes next bothered the fuck out of me. We get Frederica coming out and doing a talk no jutsu segment with an AI that we're presuming that she's able to communicate now telepathically with this guy, because, like, but she's speaking out, whatever. I don't know the mechanics of this. Fine. We've already established that there's some kind of weird magic that's happening with some cerent characters.
The Nozen clan and the yeah.
So this is a psychotic AI that, to this point, as far as we know, went crazy because he died in the process of trying to, like, protect her.
Yeah.
So maybe it doesn't know that she's still alive, but I assume it can detect her brain the way she can detect him. I don't know how this shit works. She gets out and starts talking about, like, you know, I'm still alive. Why are you doing this? And, like, what is this conversation? Because we stopped fighting. Everyone's no longer fighting. So at any point, the team could have gotten together and just murked this nigga immediately, but no, they're just in talk mode. She then threatens to kill herself, which very briefly snaps Kiri out of whatever psychosis its brain is in, only for it to just say, fuck it, kill. Like, that's so she tries to talk him out of it. I guess this is supposed to have opened up, like, a moment of weakness, so then Shin can charge in. But I want to point out that up until this point, Shin doesn't even know what he's supposed to be doing, because Frederica hasn't actually told him where he's supposed to shoot. That happens right before he does it. But he gets in, he gets his machine fucked up, he does the cool hero thing, dodges inside, puts the gun on the nigga's head, blows him away, and then we get the self-destruct sequence, which is supposed to tease us that Shin died in the process, which, like, I'm done with those types of teases. At this point, don't even fucking bother. Like,
yeah,
show me the fucking Naharazat or whatever that thing flying in and, like, grappling, hooking him out or something, because I much prefer to, like, get that shit moving than to go another 3 months before we figure out the end of this fucking cliffhanger. So I did not appreciate what was done.
What about Elizabeth?
I don't fucking know. Maybe that'll be the last 2 episodes of this season. Will be
wasn't that
and
her?
Then we'll find
episode?
out. Was it?
Yeah, because remember, first of all, she's the only one that uses those mortars.
That's true.
She's the only one that uses those mortars, and then when he heard those voices in his head, it did a close up to his ear where the communication thing used to be, and
it's possible
he would hear that because that shit was developed based off of he and his brother.
I believe that is a total possibility.
So I thought that those mortar shells.
I hate it.
I was under the impression that those mortar shells were from Elizabeth.
I think so too, but I'm just saying based on what was shown.
I don't know how.
Right.
And then also, I don't think it was the, like, Anju or Red Girl, because, like, their machines don't have the kind of, like, artillery power to shoot that many mortars at once.
We know that the missiles were probably Anju. I don't know about the other 2, right? But this is my point, and this is where this is the summation of all this. Direction and writing here. If the point of this episode is to show that all the people that were in his life who he was relying on but was rejecting ultimately come together to help him win an impossible battle. They got 60% of the way there with that story and left far too much of it up to like a random Deus Ex Machina sort of events that don't have any foreshadowing, they have no precedent, and they have no payoff. All in order to get us to like 4 cliffhangers. There's like 4 cliffhangers in this episode for no good fucking reason. Like, I'm at the point where I don't even care about the cliffhangers because I'm annoyed at the way that they're put together. Like, you want to have Elizabeth come through, then have then really make good use of the table that you set. When he is at his lowest point and about to get taken out, and he does all the stuff where he's fucking with his ear and he hears things out of the corner, play her fucking voice. Just say what was his old call sign?
Reaper.
Yeah, just like Reaper 1 or whatever, like Reaper 1, stand by for incoming, and then you can have like that the whole audience go oh, because you don't have to just play her fucking voice. You get your maximum impact out of that moment where it's like, oh, not only is Elizabeth alive, but she's coming here to help him at his lowest point when he went through all this other shit. The same goes for all those like these hero moments that you want to have for the rest of your cast. You don't set that up and then waste
Throw it away.
If you're gonna kill him spectacularly. If you're going to milk their participation for the emotional impact,
because that means they wasted our time in the earlier episodes this fucking season.
Exactly. And then don't be like, well, while all that was happening, here's what was going on over there. Like, no, motherfucker. Make that episode like this. Make all what happens to his friends this episode. Make episode 11 and 12 the penultimate. That's a pacing and a directing decision.
I heard that about that. The other episodes, it wasn't because of like all of this is because of production, but also like the time slots aren't available anymore because Dress Up Doll is taking its time slot. So
who fucking cares about Dress Up Doll?
I do. So they're taking that because I mean, what is it like? I think the stations they order like a show to like go in that slot for that season or that core or whatever, and so they ran out of slots
because of their production problems.
Because of their production issues. They ran out of slots, and I mean, it sucks. I will say I am looking forward to what the fuck is going on, especially with 2 episodes after this. Like, where the fuck are we going?
There's
like,
a lot of
if they open up the next episode with like the president, like literally like fucking shit up in the country or some shit like that, I will take that. I don't care about the other cast members. I don't care. I don't care. I care about Anju. I don't give a fuck about Raiden. I don't give a fuck about Blonde Boy, and I don't give a fuck about the other girl because I honestly thought that the other girl was dead for sure this episode because of that. Like when Shin Gate said thank you, and I was like, "That's your death flag. You're dead."
That poor girl. She survived all that shit. Worked all the way through the story to get for a fucking thank you and a blue beam.
For a fucking thank you. Yes,
that is a waste of my time. It's a waste of my time.
She's dead. She's out of here. And her little like marker on the radar dipped out. I was like, girl, they put that death flag on you and killed you within a minute. That's fucked up.
Did nothing with it. You got like this is okay. So I've beaten that shit to death. I only have one more. More complaint.
I was like, wait, how much more you got?
No, I only have one more complaint. I think this is one that we've talked about, so I don't necessarily need to go as hard on it. Kiri is a horrible antagonist. Horrible.
That dream sequence that she had.
Horrible.
First, okay, so I've talked about this before, where like if she's gonna reveal herself on the battlefield, and I was like, and my prediction was that he's gonna kill her when he sees her again to basically give himself the reason to like keep going with like his insanity, and instead he immediately rewrites the shit. He's just like, "You took her hostage."
Yes.
And it's like, I just don't care about him. If there were some kind of like nosing subplot that actually like was good, as opposed to being like the nosings are powerful, and then him going on about being like, I want your power on my side. Your power should have been on my side, and then but it's just like, but like, you are a villain and there are stakes, but like maybe it would have been better if we saw more like behind the scenes stuff with like the Legion and like he be the entry point into that. But it wasn't that. It's just like he hates you because he knows that you're a Nosen and the Legion fucking wants you to get the fuck out of here. Like, did I misunderstand it, or did they want to kill him? They don't even want to like him to become Legion. They just want to kill him.
No, he was actually told not to kill him.
Oh.
And then at the beginning of this fight, he cuts off all communication with the rest of the Legion.
Yeah.
And then decides, you know what? I need to kill this motherfucker.
Okay.
So they wrote their way out of that. But all right, let's collect, okay? So one of the big reasons why Kiri is a horrible antagonist is because what he's meant to be in the story versus how he's developed and presented are completely out of whack with each other. So I don't know anything about the mangaka's experience. I do know for a fact that this series started in like 2016, 2017, and around that time frame.
Okay.
And I say that because you can look at aspects of what the story is being told here, who the characters are, and see where this person got their inspiration from. So the Nozens are very clearly analogs for the Ackermans from Attack on Titan. It is very obvious that is what the inspiration was. Everything down to like having this distinguishing physical traits, them being from a ruined country or a ruined nation that is discredited. There's very few of them left. They all seem to have really weird other, superhuman abilities, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just so we've gotten 3 of them so far. We've gotten Shin, we got his brother, and now we've gotten Kiri. All 3 of them are like super soldiers of some kind. And the 2 of them are evil Legion zombie robots. And then we have our protagonists. Okay. So that's a better idea, taken from a better series, but injected into this one. Nothing necessarily wrong with it. And there's nothing necessarily like more unoriginal about it happening here than anywhere else. Because there's plenty of like bloodline super soldier stories all over sci-fi, fantasy, whatever.
Yeah.
The problem is that because of that trope, there is so much that is supposed to be built into Kiri's character that is never really explored in any meaningful way to make him a good antagonist. He is literally introduced into the plot with no foreshadowing by a character who's info dumping and basically just says, you look like a guy that I used to know. And then all this other all the emotional load of the antagonist story is dependent on Frederica, okay? Shin has no relation to this person. No one of the main cast has any relation to the Kiri character. And on top of that, his character doesn't even do anything in the context of the story that would put them at odds with each other, because the only relevance that he has is that he is a controlling AI inside the super weapon that they didn't even know existed until like 4
until
episodes
the ambush.
when they pulled that shit right out of their ass. And it's like, oh, that's scary. He's the giant centipede robot. And it's like, oh, okay. So then we get to like this episode, which is supposed to be so emotional, right? It's supposed to be because Kiri is a doppelganger for Shin.
Yeah.
So in season 1, his big antagonist at the end is his brother. And the idea in that one is, well, Shin's brother is like a dark version of him that has succumbed to jealousy and anger and rage and everything else. And Shin is afraid that he's like his brother. And so he has to put him down in order to expunge that responsibility that he felt that he had to like carry on, because he feels like a lot of what's happening is in fact because he didn't die and his brother got killed because of him and became a Legion and caused all this damage. Okay, that was season 1. Now in season 2, we have another copy of Shin, this time with almost even less like connection to the plot and the backstory. And what is Shin's story in this one? It's like, it's basically the same. He's got to overcome his demons and kill this thing that's very much like a version of what he could have been under different circumstances. Only the catalyst for all of it is Frederica, a character we didn't know before. And really, she's the only person with any connection. And then when her connection is brought up, the antagonist doesn't have like a moment of like, oh, I've done wrong, and that opens the way for him to be killed. It's like, nope, I'm so crazy. Like, he's just insane. And that's the problem with him as an antagonist, because you can have a crazy antagonists. There's nothing. There's psychopathic killers and unstoppable monsters, and even like people who are more like openly well-adjusted, but internally they're insane, like Monster. The antagonist of like this person is a fucking 10th, whatever you call it, like Mensa serial killer guy. Fury is just like a frothing moron who is stupid. On 2 occasions nearly gets him, well, the second one does get him killed, but he like literally cuts himself off from the rest of the network to fight a guy he never knew. Why the fuck does he care about Shin? They never even established like why he's so focused on him. He could just sort of like hear him and he's like, all right, now I don't like this guy. So all that said, because he's such a uninspiring antagonist, has nothing to do with the main cast. Everything about what they ask you to do in this episode emotionally depends on how you feel about Frederica as a character. If you love Frederica and you buy into her like pathos and her story and everything else, then the moments where she's trying to like talk no jutsu him and you're getting these flashbacks and everything else, then it will kind of work. But if you don't care, then all that stuff is sort of just a waste of time, because now you're supposed to think, why are we here? Why is she here? Why is this guy here? What is happening? Does this make sense? And I have to say the answer to that is absolutely not. And I like Frederica's voice actress, and I like a lot of the lines that she's given, but do I think that our main cast should be involved in her little like play acting night princess drama when I don't even understand how she's here? Like, she's too young for any of this stuff. Was she like 4 years old when the shit was happening originally? Like, she's supposed to be like 10. Like, this is weird. This is not, I don't fucking get it. So I've already
my body. You needed to get that out. Wow. I'm just like, I feel like James has said a lot that like, I'm pretty sure that I agree with all of it. Especially with the Frederica thing. It's like, I enjoy her as the character as far as like aesthetic and personality wise, but as far as like emotionally and this whole Kiri thing, it was a battle tactic. That's all I saw for me. And also it was really shitty. So just give me more mecha battles. That's just what I came here for. I came here for the scene where Shin was running up to that nigga and getting his fucking legs popped the fuck off. That's what I came for. I just want more of that. I want more of that. That's all I want. And I want to know what, maybe the saving grace for like the first part of the show is that we kept getting the juxtaposition to like Shin and Elizabeth. Like Elizabeth kept like, making up for the dreariness and like the repetitiveness of that is Shin's story. And now that we don't have her in here no more, it's kind of like, bruh, like, come on.
I'm with you 100%. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's that when you lose the balance and you try to like add other elements to like make up for it, it's like replacing all the sugar in a recipe. You gotta, like they tried a lot of stuff. They threw a lot of shit at the wall, and some of it was really good this season. Like I like the Federacy and that culture, and
I enjoyed
the president,
captain,
the captain, and these new and the cast adjusting to this dual life. And they introduced a lot of like interesting ideas, but I'm gonna say it now. I'm not reading the light novel, so y'all can get the fuck out of my message with that. But I feel like the writer, the original author, created Frederica later, realized he really liked this character, and then decided to make everything about her. All the characters become
you said that. Yeah, you said that.
Just wrapped up in her. The plot is all about her. The action is not about any of the people we care about. It's about this little girl having her like cathartic moment.
He's usurped the show.
Yeah, she took it over. It's like JJ and What's Happening. Like just.
And maybe is that the reason why Elizabeth is just like disappeared, because the author actually, you know what? I don't know. Don't tell us, y'all.
You're right. There's like 10 or 11 volumes. Now I heard when the first season was ending that from people who read that they were just saying that, okay, the light novels are kind of coming to some kind of conclusion. That's what I heard. But I went and I looked just to see like, okay, based on covers alone, where are we in the story?
Yeah.
This is volume 2.
I don't know where the fuck else we
Frederica,
can go.
yeah, like this is volume 2.
If we go
I
to
don't
space, I'm
need
done.
I need this little motherfucker out of the story. Go, like, I don't know what I don't want to kill her. Like, I don't
let her
hate her
go
character.
rebuild the empire or some shit, or like
Right.
elsewhere for like a few arcs, or what, like, I don't know. I don't know.
This
Or
one,
maybe
gets,
you know what? Actually, I can see. No, I can see things.
if you wanna
I can see this
bring
going for
back
a while.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, they did a good. That was the other thing. This season, world building has been on point.
Yeah.
Getting us more shit going on.
Because I can definitely see us going deeper into, the origins of the Legion. How the fuck did they turn on people? What is the power structure like now?
Right.
Is it actually all AIs, or is it actually like actual humans? But like, I can see all of that stuff being viable plot lines. But right now, for all this bullshit, and we're only on volume 2.
There's so much good stuff. There's so much good stuff there, and there's
maybe
more to this
it's the
story.
translation between the volume and the anime. Maybe that's what it is.
I mean, no, that's all possible. It's maybe all that is possible. I'm just here to say that we have 2 more episodes in the season, so I'm withholding my judgment on the totality of what's there. I appreciate a lot about what in the first 10 episodes that we got, what was brought to the table. So I'm not negative on 86, and I'll be hyped not only for those next 2 episodes, but any continuation, because I do think that the core of the story, it's a robot zombie story with like some telepathic teens, piloting giant robots. I'm a big Gundam fan. I'm in. I'm just saying that, like, when you ask me to participate in a story and then give me a bunch of bullshit to pad stuff out, I start to worry if my time investment is really worth it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Just give me more Gundams. Not Gundams. Give me more mecha. Like,
speaking of which, did you see the preview of the witch? Not preview, but just the announcement of like the witch from Jupiter.
No, did a video come out?
That's gonna be the next. It's a no vid. They put a 40-second announcement that had no
fucking mecha in it.
Yeah. But I'm but the sad part is all I've seen is a poster. I'm like, put it in me! Put it in me!
Oh, actually, you know what? Ash just posted on Twitter, they saying that he just finished G Gundam. And I was like, what? I was like,
Gundam is the truth though.
What? I was like, as big of a mecha fan as he is, I was like, did you just watch G Gundam? But then also, we don't be knowing how young these people are. So
that is true. I mean, listen, if you're a Toonami veteran, I don't know how you got away with not watching it back in the day.
I was on G Gundam every day after. Ooh, that's okay. Let me not tell y'all that.
This hand of mine is burning red. It calls out the name of victory.
That skin tight fucking battle suit, like.
If you had told me before that show came out that you could be like, you could have Gundam and Dragon Ball Z in the same show, and I would have been like, I'd be like, no way, that's true. No way, no way.
That's the reason why I fucks with G Gundam harder than I do with Gundam Wing, primarily because I never really like watched Gundam Wing all the way through, but because the mecha variety in G Gundam was just like, just fucking all over the place. It was so many mecha. So many.
If you were an edgy boy or girl growing up in the early 2000s, Wing was for you. That was for you. You those beautiful pilots, like you pick one, that's your dude, whatever.
I picked my favorite weapon, Hell Scythe.
Oh, so you were okay.
The Reaper, so the Scythe.
Duo Maxwell type of person.
And then whatchamacallit, Hell Scythe Custom with the fucking like black bat wings. Oh my god, nigga. No, I think I bought like 5 versions of that Gunpla.
When Duo showed up, I was like, that's my nigga. But then over time I realized I'm more of a Katra person. I actually like Katra. Like all the stuff that was good, because Katra was holding it down. Katra would be like, you could use my shit, like had a bunch of people. Only one of them that actually had like folks that respected them and followed them. So I ultimately was like I was a big Katra Rababa Winter fan. That was my dude by the end. But Duo,
we talking about
he had the coolest suits.
See how we talking about these Gundams?
Bro.
And I honestly, I can't say the same for 86. Not in a negative way, but like mecha wise and
They're
just like
not distinctive
overall.
enough yet. We need more.
I need more individuality beyond the fucking stickers. Like, I don't care about the stickers anymore.
I don't know. Did I don't know who produced this season or who's producing really the model kits is a better way of putting it. Is it also through like is this a Sunrise thing on the
I
back
have no
end?
idea, but I do know that I ordered a Burn Gundam Gunpla randomly.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, I say that to mean as far as pushing the boundaries, like rule of cool stuff. I think this series has so much that it can do, and we haven't seen it yet. So I don't want to go anywhere. But like, how many more model kits would have been sold if we got to see fucking Anju going ham with fucking missiles and bouncing around the mountains and doing all
My thing is that if you're gonna give them specialized stuff, can we at least get like 2 or 3 minutes out of an episode, like going into the details on their loadouts? Yeah. Like it could have been the commander going up to like Anju and basically being like, "So you said you like your mech to be like this, so we managed to get this work," or like, "Do we need to go back to like?" That way I know, like, because we were even just said it. We were like, "Blonde boy, we really don't know what the fuck you do, nigga." Like, we don't know what the fuck you do.
He had 2 scenes in that like city battle with the new machine where it was like, oh, okay, he plays this role.
He seems like a guerrilla fighter or some shit.
Yeah, like I think he was like the sniper sort of, like, you know, he would hide in a building and then relocate and take guys down. We had artillery, we had the missile barrage, we had like the close fighters. I think Raiden's was like more balanced, and like him and Shin were a frontline type of dudes. Like this was cool. People need to learn, not just people, Japanese executives who don't watch or listen to anything I will ever say. But Gundam Unicorn should be your model for how to make the maximum amount of money on anything mecha or anime related.
Oh my god.
Gundam Unicorn should be, because there are episodes of Gundam Unicorn that just because one mecha was in it and had like one shot of like, you know, jumping up from the ground to go attack some other nigga like that sold thousands of model kits. Thousands. Like the Bjarlet custom, which is only in the what do you call it? The Jabro, was it Jabro? The Jabro attack. That's the one where like it busts out of the hangar, whether it's a Federation one, and it has like the extra arms and it takes down in the air like a bunch of custom like Zaku's and everything else. That scene is 1 minute and 30 seconds long. I've watched that scene like 100 times. I own that fucking model kit, okay? That shit is just an Easter egg. They threw that shit in there. There's people, if you go to forums right now, there's people debating who the pilot of that suit is, whether they were a new type or not. Because it's shit that people can attach to that looks fucking cool, and you can sell them things.
And honestly, I don't care about the Legion designs. They don't look cool to me.
Yeah.
They don't look cool. And like, I would get a spider, but all of them look the same. So it's kind of just like.
So here's, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. So in 2 minutes, okay, I'm going to rewrite the Kiri character so they can sell a lot of model kits and make a ton of money. This is very simple. You introduce the Kiri character at the beginning of season 2, not in a giant fucking centipede, but as a controller that's on the front lines that's fucking all the shit up. Every time we got the scenes in this season of like, oh, we're getting pushed back. Oh, the war's not going well. We need to see a special looking spider unit leading these forces in an intelligent way. They're vicious. They're taking niggas out like Shin. But you're watching it on the other side, just cut through Federate. You could even have them be operating in that other country that we were introduced to this time, just to like show this guy taking out fodder units and it resembling a character that we know. Meanwhile, cut back, they're in the city, they're adjusting to normal life, they're doing all their regular shit, all the things that happen. Fast forward to when they enlist in the military. And now we get them out there because we had episodes where all of them were spread around doing stuff that we never got to see. Have one of the members run into that unit and it fucks them up, but they live and they come back and they said, there's some crazy shit happening on that front line. I fought a unit, it's like a fucking ghost. It moves like Shin, and that's the catalyst to getting the special forces unit back together, because they're gonna go hunt this motherfucker. And that's when you find all the Frederica shit, right? It's fine. In the middle of the season, say episode 6 or 7, Shin corners them, they have a duel, they both get fucked up. They get fucked up bad. He's injured, his suit's fucked up, because they were using some basic ass motherfucking shit at first. Kiri's suit gets fucked up, or the thing it's in gets fucked up. Has to go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Has to evolve. Now you're getting 2 new units for the price of 1 character. And we have a relationship between these characters that's based on things that actually happened when they were on the battlefield, which is all we fucking care about. We don't care about all of this stuff. It's fighting. Then you want to fast forward to the end, talk about super weapons, talk about all this other stuff, talk about other commanders, and we find out that Pale Rider is the code name, and it's gone back to the drawing board. It's created the ultimate thing to take on what it now perceives as its #1 rival. And oh, by the way, it's holding its Frederica hostage. His intent is not on Shin, it's on Frederica. It's getting her, but in the twisted way that the Legion works, it's like, I need to bring my princess back to the castle. So now the protagonist's sort of motivations are inside the mind of an insane antagonist, and they lead this crazy attack that leads to all the shit that we saw here, culminating in them finally finding his main body, because they take out the secondary suit only to find out that the real one is the big fucking caterpillar shit. And then they have a big ass fight in the city that we saw in episode 8, where everyone could show off all the hot shit that they were up to. You could even have Shin get caught on the electrical wires and do all that. She's about to die. Then you get your bombardment coming from, Elizabeth or whatever. You have her voice over the radio. Everyone's coming together. Everyone's teaming up.
Wow.
And they fuck that dude up, and then he blows his brains out, and you move on to season 3. That's it. And you can sell so many model kits.
Wow. I want that now. Oh no.
You could sell so many, and it would all make sense. The whole story would make sense. Nothing new needs to happen. You just need to move these guys around and just introduce characters earlier. All the motivations would line up. It would be easy.
Yeah, we haven't had any like, my mech got destroyed and now here's a new super powerful cool one.
Yes, that's what you do this for. That's all you do Gundam for. Oh, I love you put your super pilot in some basic grunt unit, and they like fight, and then it gets fucked up, and then they give them a new one. It's got like fucking hot ass weapons. The arms are different. The head is different. It's got like a gold band or some crazy shit. Like if you saw, anyway, I'm not gonna get
like Moon Gundam or some shit like that.
Exactly. This is easy, and they can't fucking do it because they're locked in this god awful light novel that was written by a guy who just wanted to make Attack on Titan, but with fucking robots.
Okay. So let's move on.
Let's move on. Okay.
Okay, let's move on to what else did you watch? Did you finish Tactical Opus? I heard it was some bullshit.
The ending is fucking whack, but it's a good series. I think I didn't realize it was based on a mobile game until the end, but I actually think that like if you want like a secondary show to be watching, or you want to pick something up for the season that you skipped, it's really good looking. Music is great. Despite the ending, the last 2 episodes, I'm not a big fan of what they were doing, but this season of it, or I guess it's wrapped up, but had my favorite episode of anime that I watched from like a emotional point of view, which was the New Orleans episode.
The New Orleans episode.
I really, really, really like that episode a lot. I like it a lot, and I think that I think you could probably watch it with no context because it doesn't really involve any of the weird like world lore
music
stuff.
arts and shit like that.
Yeah, like it's just it's a very personal kind of episode. It's very good. I did not expect it to be in the series. I think somebody telling me that Cygames and was somehow behind Tacked Off or something like that.
Is it Cygames?
I don't know. Don't take my word for that. I don't know. But like regardless, I think it's been one of the best mobile adaptations that I've seen. It's just really a good show on its own.
Oh,
the ending
it's
is
Dina.
not great, but like,
it's not Cygames, it's Dina.
Okay, but regardless, like they actually did something good with it. Like I really, really, really like what they did. So So I watched that.
I think it might be a good one because they have a lot of decent shit underneath their belt. Well, that doesn't mean the American people are gonna do it correctly because it's gonna be they're gonna fucking license it out to an American Netmarble or some shit like that, and then they're gonna fucking gouge it. Okay, anyways.
Yeah, so that was good. And then also World Trigger, really cool episode. Cool, tactical, very like
tactical.
Very tactical. All fight. There was no story elements here. It's just about this final rank battle with all the top teams. Everyone's looking good, cool shit. So sort of a couple of surprises, and they're just setting up for the last episode of the season. Sorry to see it go, but it was they had a good season. So if you were into World Trigger, good. And that's all that I watched that was of the current stuff. I will catch up on a couple of the shows now that the season is wrapped up because I feel people have talked about them as like being best of the season. Like I feel bad that I haven't really watched more than 2 episodes of was it Boji and what was the name of that one?
Osama Ranking.
Osama Ranking. I feel really bad that I've not watched that. So I'm going to basically marathon it to the end. And then I'm also still
I don't think it's coming back until January 8th. So it's not coming out this week. So you have like another week and a half.
And slowly catching up on Mushoku Tensei. I'm not even on the current.
Yeah, I would say don't rush on that. I feel like we probably wouldn't see another season until like fall 2023, maybe. But we'll see. But also Mushoku Tensei, it's finished. So like there's no rush, there's no worry about like, oh, we're catching up. We gotta elongate these. It's like, no, it's done. It's over.
So that's it. That's all I got.
All I watched last week was Seven Deadly Sins. I fucking finished it.
Oh, okay.
And I finished it.
You got to false ending number 1 and then false ending number 2.
I'm sorry, but like, okay, so first of all, what the fuck is Elizabeth's mom? Just completely ignored that character. Or for at least at the end of this or in the anime, I don't know if there are more scenes in the manga.
It don't fucking matter, bro. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
The power of chaos, the whole thing with Merlin, the whole thing
wasn't happy about that either.
Yeah, like it literally was just like, I'm not mad at it, but I'm also just like, bro, there was like nothing like leading to like there were no hints. There was the whole thing with Arthur and the cat being like an agent of chaos the entire time. They don't go into how he found Arthur in the druid thing back in like season 2. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I think
it didn't make sense that the fucking cat didn't eat Arthur where his body was stored. I was like,
I don't know.
He was like, oh, I was waiting for the power of chaos to manifest in you before I ate you. But if he's the king and you already knew he was the fucking king, you could have just ate him anyways and still gotten something about like
the
Escanor thing. I will say that's where the entirety of the budget went for all the seasons. That final scene where he was dying with all the fire, all of the budget went into that. It looked gorgeous. It was great.
I felt like he should have been the main fucking character at that point.
Also, like Merlin, okay. Oh my god. Why the fuck would you go and give Escanor like a false sense of attention, like do the whole like burning your skin and like not letting it be healed, and then the next plot line is you basically having an ulterior motive the entire time due to unrequited love. And like you teleport them away, they come back, you got to protect Arthur, that's your thing, but we're going to protect you, that's the other thing. None of you niggas talked about her crush on Meliodas. Where the fuck did that crush come from? Why wasn't it fucking expounded upon? What the fuck, Belian? Like, where are there other remnants of Belian? Like, Chaos, who's the original, like, where, like, is Chaos the Big Bang? Like, and then also, where the fuck are the other countries in the world? It's not just Britannia. Also, I did like the little thing that they did with like the guy who has like the Eastern sword, how he had the holes from like tearing his angel wings off. I was like, now see that, I'm interested in that because that's like a valid, he's been around and we don't know where his power came from. So it's like, okay, I can see this being important, but right now, you literally doing it in the last episode. So
this is Seven Deadly Sins. It's so many amazing ideas. Like
I agree.
Hype level 10 billion.
Also, how the fuck you gonna show only Meliodas and Elizabeth's child in the fucking end and not show the other ones? Like, what the hell is that?
Like, this is the thing, and we've talked about in Dragon Ball how like Toriyama had like some very clear ideas that he wanted to like write and draw, and they actually it went from like, oh, we're just gonna do Journey to the West, but like my cool version, and it turned into something like aliens and like go to other planets and Super Saiyans and this and that, and like everything was cool till he ran out of the core story he wanted to tell. Kind of ended, and then it was like, but I had some hot shit that's in my head, like,
oh yeah, you mentioned this
like,
on the rap on the preview episode about like how many times he went back to them about like the main antagonist and the Cell arc until Cell was created.
So I think like if you take the Toriyama story as him wanting to do like certain things, and then his like producers or I guess the editors be like, it could be cooler. Oh, it could be bigger. Oh, okay. So I kind of like, I put a lot of that on like them wanting to push it forward. Seven Deadly Sins is like the other way, where like his ideas, they are like hotter than the fucking sun. Like everything with Escanor, all the stuff you brought up, where it's like, these are really cool, but the plot has collapsed in on itself. The plot is a black hole that's formed around this like nucleus of storyline elements that don't make any sense anymore.
How the fuck were the light and the dark gods created from chaos, and then they were able to seal chaos away?
It doesn't make any sense.
And then also, so then they're like setting up like foreshadowing, because the cat was like one of like many manifestations of chaos or like emotions and shit like that. And I'm just like, okay, it's whatever. I see that like Arthur is the bad guy in four horsemen of the apocalypse or some shit, and like Merlin's right there to fuck right with him and things like, and like, I don't know, like the ending, I was excited to finish the series, and it basically like, I think I'm
gonna. And then the nigga said you ain't done. They said you ain't done.
And then
they didn't finish anything.
at the end of that season, I kind of was like, I kind of want a break. So I was like, am I just gonna get more of this shit? Like, is this what we're doing? Like, it's just like Chaos World. Like,
I can't vouch because I haven't read the new manga. Everyone who's read it says it's great.
Okay.
That's everyone who's read it, but that's a few people. But I will say this: Seven Deadly Sins will always have a strong place in my heart, because I think that
I love that first season.
I think that the moment the author and the mangaka imagined that shot in like, I think it was like probably chapter 1 or 2 of what do you call, who's the guy with the thunder?
Gilgamesh. Oh wait, no. Gil Thunder.
Gil Thunder, okay. When that first like panel and in the anime where Meliodas throws the weapon back, and it hits right by the thing, and it's like charged with energy, and then it's like, it pulls that shit out, and he like extends, like that shot is rule of cool. And this is what was in the mind of the mangaka, and they nailed the cool. Everything. These elongated bodies, these humongous earth-splitting strikes, these characters that are grimacing in pain and doing all sorts, and all these cool abilities and whatever, all that stuff. I think that was in their head from day one, but making it fit into the structure of a story with like that is contained and is logical and follows from point A to point B and wraps up its loose ends and leads seamlessly to the next chapter. That aspect of it was like the 8th thing in their mind, because the moment they got to like, oh,
why the fuck are they the king and queen?
when when they were like, when they got to the point where like there's an angel who forgot they were an angel but now thinks they're a demon, and then Meliodas is like, he's the strongest, but then he's also erased his own mind because of trauma, because of a woman that he fell in love with, and then there's a backstory where they were the other way.
And
His
that's the
father
thing,
wants to
though.
possess his brother, but then
I
it's not really his brother.
I enjoyed those not those plot lines, but I enjoyed those like aspects of the story. But if after a while, they just all fell to fuck flat. Like,
yes, because they all everything collapsed,
like,
because
yeah.
you're at chapter 300 and you're asking questions like, well, if this was always true, then what the fuck was going on 150 chapters ago, right? I hated more than anything else what happened with Arthur, because Arthur was my favorite underwritten character in that series from the moment he showed up. You know, like, oh, this is awesome. Like, he's adapting the more of the Arthurian stuff. We've got Merlin, and Merlin has been protecting Arthur, and Arthur is like gonna be more powerful than everybody else, but he's like this like kind of like foolish kind of kid. And then when the other when they moved into the second half of the story, and we actually get to see Camelot, and we get to see like that first major confrontation, and Arthur and all these people get fucking washed. They get washed. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's not his time yet. It's not his time yet. Okay, fast forward to the next part of that story where Arthur's in the underground. He's like, he's leading the people where everything's going like, now it's just, he's like fucking Gohan. He's this nigga that you keep waiting to fucking do something. And every time he's given it, he gets washed. He gets washed over and over again. Cat gets fucking eviscerated. And I'm like, where's the payoff? When is it coming? And the reason why, because the story, the layers of the story started to interact with each other in bad ways. And so now you have this author running ahead of his own story, like trying to throw new cool shit at you.
Yeah.
Constantly, so that you
I'm
don't
just really
so that
not
you don't
feeling
get swallowed by the black hole of what's failing in the rest of the story.
I just feel like the chaos aspect was biting off way more than they could chew, because of everything that we just got through, like working through. It hasn't been resolved.
Right.
So
Meliodas is the whole thing with his dad, like Ed Bond living.
Who is their mom? Well, come on, like, what are we doing? What's going on with Elizabeth? Is she the only heir to light and all the kind of stuff like that? Like,
many conflicting layers of story that don't connect to each other.
The thingamabob, Bomb, Elaine, the fairies, they never went into detail. They were like, the origin were like the light, the darkness, and the world tree. And so the demons came from the dark, the angels came from the light, and the fairies came from the... Okay, so then giants, what is their origin?
You hit the nail on the head. Was all of this that we know now true in chapter 1? No.
No, because they didn't give a fuck about that world. Well, no, they cared about the world tree, but it was never
about it.
Yeah, but it was never put on the same level of power as like the Demon King and the Goddess. Yes. So all of a sudden, near the end of the story, it ends up being one of the like the 3 prime like creations from chaos.
But before that, it either didn't matter, or was this like very off to the side thing that only mattered to the druids.
But it couldn't have mattered only to the druids, because the fairies fought in that fucking war.
Right.
Already, so it's just like...
The war that wasn't really described in the beginning, but then when we got more details about it, became nonsensical. So basically, Gowther was like a double agent, triple agent, the key to everything the whole time, but then not really, because of it, like...
memories were locked away. And then like...
If you Berserk, right? In chapter 1, if you compare, chapter 1 of Berserk to chapter 394 when Murat was dead, all of the facts that were true at the end of the series were true in chapter 1. We, the audience, hadn't been introduced to them yet.
Yeah.
But they were always true. That's why the whole first chapter, or the first arc of Berserk, takes place in a version of the world that is sort of sitting on top of this vast ocean of other shit that you get to after when the Golden Age stuff is all over. It doesn't feel like it's actually that much of a leap to get to all the wild and crazy niggas turning into demons, Like, you know, like all the things with the hands and like the Skull Knight and causality and the fairies and the, you know, Guts' Lost Child and Casca, it all hangs together because that was clearly in place in the author's mind and the research that they did before they wrote the first word. From before any words, before Guts uttered anything, everything that was going to happen was already there. Seven Deadly Sins was like, bro, I think they looked at it, so I think I know something about like you know, some different aspects of mythology from other cultures that I read in a book. I'm gonna use it, World Tree, Druids, the Arthurian legends, and then
Deadly Sins.
Then I'm gonna pop that shit, I'm gonna throw a fucking spear, it's gonna explode. Motherfuckers are gonna go ham.
Seven Deadly Sins gives me like a celebrity chef making a new dish like on the fly in front of people. So it's like you can make good shit, but because you're trying to flex right now, you got all this knowledge. I'm gonna throw some fucking capsaicin in this shit. And I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And it's like, oh, it looks cool in the process, but then when you put that shit in front of me and I take a bite, it's like, nigga, what is this? What is this? What is this?
You know what it's like? It's like McDonald's French fries. McDonald's French fries are...
McDonald's French fries is gambling.
Listen. McDonald's French fries are peak as long as you eat them exactly 5 minutes after they came out of the fryer.
But exactly.
If you try to eat them niggas before, they will fuck you up. And if you wait 5 minutes and 1 second, them cold McDonald's French fries...
Cardboard.
Garbage.
Garbage.
They are.
That's how you know that they're not worth it, because you can't heat them bitches up in the air fryer again. Like, if you get some good French fries, you can pop them bitches in the air fryer for like 2 to 3 minutes, and they will be like crispy and like perfect again. You can't do that shit with McDonald's and French fries. It's either you gotta go in and you gotta basically be like, man, I have some. You have to say, man, I have some fresh fries.
Yes.
Or you gonna gamble when you get your delivery order.
I just eat them bitches on the way home because there ain't no way
you can't get like getting McDonald's delivery is just like not. It doesn't work for me. It's a bad idea. You gonna get your Big Mac gonna be soggy as fuck. Everything else in there gonna be soggy because of all the fucking humidity in the bag. Your fries are either gonna be soggy or they're gonna be pure cardboard. Like it's never one of those. They're gonna be and then they're gonna be lukewarm.
Yes.
Because oh my god, like I one time I ordered McDonald's and the nigga walked from McDonald's. Like to deliver it to me.
You take that shit back. How dare you?
I was flabbergasted. I was like, I literally like I was so hungry that I was like waiting on, and it was like 3 a.m. in the morning. So I'm like, where is this nigga? Like, damn, like I'm hungry. Like, where is this nigga? I literally went out on my fucking porch and was just like waiting for him to like drive up. The nigga walked around the fucking corner with the McDonald's in his hand. Worst McDonald's I've ever had.
That shit was long. It was long past its prime.
Oh my god! I literally threw the French fries away immediately. I was like,
there's no point. I can't do this shit. Yeah. Yep, there's no point. You gotta get rid of them.
And also, I was like, I'm not about to argue with this nigga to his face about walking. Like, bro, you out here delivering on foot. You need that money. So I was like,
if you're gonna eat at an actual physical McDonald's, the nigga who chefs up them fries and gets it to you nice and right, that's a good person. That's a person that you need to give them their props. But those fries don't last. And that's the same thing with the Seven Deadly Sins story. It's just the McDonald's French fries. That shit, when right the moment you read a new chapter, you're just like, oh, let it wash over me. Yes. But then you start thinking, like, a couple of minutes later, you're like, wait a minute.
But what about what's the call it? Yes, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I finished Seven Deadly Sins. That happened, and I don't know if I'm gonna have it in me to read Apocalypse or if I'm just gonna wait for the anime adaptation and just go from there. Like, to be honest, once again, Sawano carried the show in a sense with his music. Yeah. Like, it is not that it was bad, but like some of those moments they hit harder because of the Sawano soundtrack. That's just how it is. And that was all that I watched. Yeah.
I'll put up a lot of fuck shit if a series can give me good music, right, and moments that even if the rest of the story don't make no damn sense, they go live forever. Motherfucking Escanor said, "Who told you to go on?" And that was it. I mean, what am I supposed to say? Like,
I'm glad they killed him off, because if they had done all this hullabaloo and then he still got to live just like without his powers, I would have been like, okay, this is okay. So now I'm not afraid for anyone dying anymore.
He said, "Who decided that?" I'm like, "You're right. That's a great question. That's a great ass motherfucking question. Who decided that shit?" But he said, was it a cruel son? And fucking eviscerated those niggas. I was like, "You're right. All the fuck shit I'm putting up with."
He was a boss ass motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed that character. But then the whole thing with like Maya. Okay, no. Okay, nope.
Say less.
Any news?
I'll let you go.
Okay, the only news I have is that we need the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie immediately. Like, that's all. It sold over 1 million tickets in its first day in Japan, so we need it. Preferably not during Omicron surge, but we do need it.
Well, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, But yeah, that's the only news I got. Now, but that's the only thing I care about. Is
I think Yamato is getting its film preview. I really like. I suggest, actually, it may feel retro for a lot of people, but go check out both the TV series. I think it was 2013, and then the first movie. They're great.
I have experience with that because of Super Robot Wars. So.
Okay, great. Yeah. And give us that Jujutsu Kaisen movie as soon as possible. Get it.
I would like it. Here. Like, I would like even if you just have to do the online release, I don't care. Bring it over here.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand that, like, they want to get those limited screenings if they can in American theaters.
Yeah,
because they want to do it. I get it. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Give me the goddamn movie.
Yeah, yeah. So as far as news goes, I have one recommendation this week, and y'all probably gonna be like, "Wow, nigga, can't believe you recommended this. You fucking disgusting person." But I'm recommending Genshin Impact this week, and I'm
you in now.
Primarily recommending Genshin Impact for one character and one character only, and it's Arataki Ito. And the main reason I'm recommending it, first of all, the character's fun as fuck. Like, fun as fuck. It's not because his six-pack is showing, because it's literally like a whatever model. The model looks like ass compared to the promotional material. I did not know that they got TM Revolution to voice this fucking character.
Interesting.
I was shocked when I logged into that game and did the test run for this motherfucker on the Japanese voice acting. And I was like, this voice? Wait, hold on. I don't even be playing the character. I let that nigga just like stand around and just like say his fucking random voice fucking actions. Because TM Takanori, he doesn't do many voice acting gigs. Like, the nigga's too busy singing. I think he's done, the last thing that he did was like in 2016. So he really ain't out here voice acting like that. And yeah, Genshin Impact's money is just so long. Oh my God. Like, you got TM Revolution to voice a fucking gacha character? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, it's amazing. Arataki Ito is fucking amazing. He's a joy to play. And if you haven't experienced his like craziness, just go to YouTube, type in Arataki Ito shit. Like, talking to, like, he's having fun voicing the character. It's so fucking obvious. He's having the time of his fucking life, just like wilding the fuck out with this. So yeah, that is my recommendation for the week. Oh, I'll save that for next week. Never mind.
Oh, okay, great. Never mind. All right. I have two recommendations. One is anime adjacent, and the other is just maybe good for the time that we're in. So my first recommendation is a manhwa that is also based on a light novel called The Book-Eating Magician. So we got about close to 50 chapters. Very interesting art style, kind of like understated, makes good use of motion and color, but it doesn't look like a lot of stuff that you might have, because it's got this very like painted, digital painted, but painted aesthetic that's a little minimalist. So like characters are kind of drawn in a very muted way and they sort of blend in with the background, but there's really cool stuff happening. Great magic system. Characters are actually relatively interesting. It's one of those stories of like, you know, an underachiever gets a secret, you know, power and can do something with it, but the rules around it are pretty cool. And I've heard that the light novel is also much longer running and but still very entertaining. I don't read light novels, so I have no opinion about that one.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, so that's the general recommendation. But then for this time of year, not a big fan of Christmas music, and it takes a lot to get me in the front door, but I do like me some hip hop. I want to recommend the YouTube channel Cookin' Soul. They produce a whole ton of amazing remixes, but in particular, their series of holiday mixes. They've had Wu-Tang Christmas music that fits better than like some of the beats that they actually get. They have a Biggie album and an MF Doom tape, and if you put all three of them on, that's my holiday go-to.
Wow.
It's like, I don't like Christmas music. This makes me want to listen to Christmas music. Plus, they have plenty of skits from like Chappelle's Show, Richard Pryor, other shit thrown in there. So check it out if you have time. Cookin' Soul, any of their Christmas mixes. They just released the Wu-Tang one this week, so it's put it on your rotation. You'll end the holidays with some good hip hop. So that's my recommendation for the week.
All right, well, that's all for this episode. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you follow us on the socials, anime_savants on Twitter, and then just regular anime savants on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, which, I mean, you probably are watching this. No, you're not watching this on YouTube. You're probably listening to it, but it's on YouTube too. Okay.
We got video. You can hit me up anytime at Neural Handshake on Twitter. And yeah, just keep it easy, keep it light, keep it breezy for the holidays. And
listen to the 2020 preview episode.
Oh yeah,
we just dropped on Sunday, which you guys probably on Tuesday. But anyways, yeah, there's lots of no. Okay,
we'll have more. Yep, peace out.
Bye.